You found it. Your home for the best content on your favorite team, the Fighting Tigers of LSU. Do us a favor. Subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments below. Be sure to smash that like button. Brian Kelly and his staff got fantastic news earlier today, Tuesday, when four-star running back at a Liberty Magnet, Kaleb Jackson, made his pledge to the Tigers. The second running back in this class, joining Trey Holly, both from the state of Louisiana. Korey Lindsey, the head coach over at Liberty Magnet, is good enough to join us for a couple of minutes right now. Coach Lindsey, we appreciate some time. How are you?
I'm doing great. I appreciate you guys having me on.
It's our pleasure. Okay, so when did you learn what Kaleb's decision was going to be?
I learned today. I knew that I was told by his mom that it was a birthday. It was her birthday, and he kind of stepped to her and told her he wanted to make a surprise for her on her birthday and commit. And from that point, I knew out of the three schools, but I didn't know specifically which. So I was surprised as everyone else.
It's pretty cool whenever you can. There's so few surprises left in life. When you get one like that,
Yeah.
it's pretty cool.
Right.
What was because we know that the high school coach oftentimes has a lot of communication with recruiters coming on campus and otherwise. Well, what was your experience like as Kaleb's coach going through this process?
The experience, it became quick really fast. When I say quick, just as far as really, really coming and trying to be a priority in his recruitment, it became overwhelming at a point. And I kind of seen he had it, and I tried to help him just kind of delegate that situation because I've been in that recruitment position, not as, as prestigious as him, but just understanding, you got to kind of step back for a second and kind of take it in stride. Don't let it overpressure you. So I was kind of helping mentally with it. That was my perspective as he was going through it.
Sure. When did you first look at Kaleb and realize, he's different? He's major D1 talent.
Just funny, me being a Baton Rouge guy, when I came to Liberty Magnet a year ago, I knew who he was when he came in, but I knew who Kaleb Jackson was when he was 8 years old. The Little League team he played for, the Scotlandville Seahawks, that team and co-owner started that program. And that's one of my good former teammates that played with me in high school. So when he started his program, he always reached out to me when I was playing and just about his team and the players. And Kaleb was one of those guys. And Richard McNeil is another on our team. And to see those guys 5-6 years later, now they 15, 16-year-old in high school, was just kind of just surreal. But he was a talented kid then at 8, 9 years old, to answer your question. I kind of knew it and seen it, and we all, just from Baton Rouge, kind of always been on the radar of it could be possible.
It is interesting, though, whenever you notice someone that has – I've tried to describe it before, Coach, like whatever that is, I used to call high school games, and sometimes you could just tell, that kid is just playing at a different level than the other 21 kids on the field. I mean, when you have a running back that runs for 14 yards a carry, it must feel like that watching him on the sideline.
Yes. Sometimes it looks like he's not running fast, but he's running.
Korey Lindsey's with us, the head coach over at Liberty Magnet. Let's talk a little bit about Kaleb as a player, and then we'll talk about him as a person as well.
Okay.
What are his strengths on the field?
His strengths on the field, I would say, have to be his speed, of course, his power, and also his competitive nature. He loved being a best guy, and he loved playing amongst the best guys. So I just seen that just kind of in him younger, but as he's a mature kid, I kind of noticed his speed has always been his X factor. He's a real physical guy, and his competitive nature is kind of his top three things I noticed about him.
Being a guy from Baton Rouge, I'm curious if he reminds you of anyone that you've seen come through, either Baton Rouge or just the high school ranks in Louisiana, say in the last 15 years or so.
Well, he has just a different style with his size and speed combo. It's been a lot of guys that kind of had that kind of, that twitch and that tenacity. So he's kind of in his league of his own, though, just to be quite frank with you. Everyone has a little unique trait to him, but Kaleb is Kaleb. You got to kind of see him to kind of say what I'm saying up close, but he just got a unique skill set, man, that's just unique, It's really unique. It's the size and speed combo. You don't find that too much.
Yeah. Is he a guy that likes to live between the tackles? So I've heard that, but then you look at 14 yards a carry, and it's amazing to think like he's got to be have that breakaway big home run hitter potential as well.
Well, he's a really complete guy. It's just last year he hit a lot of those runs inside, and when we got up, he didn't even play in the fourth quarter. So he had the longest runs per carry, but he had the least touches by any running back in the state by far. Because a lot of games he didn't play in the second half in our 4A early on. So those long runs turned into big yardage and touchdowns, and he didn't play fourth quarter. So it was kind of that's all he did, but he has a lot more in his arsenal. This year he'll be able to show his receiving abilities out of the backfield and in the receiving game and passing game. So he's really eager to show that part of his game as well. He spoke on to me as a player-coach conversation.
I mentioned I want to talk to him about it as a player, but then also as a person, because it seems like that's been an underlying factor in every commitment that Brian Kelly and the staff has taken. All the players that we've been able to speak to seem like really genuinely good kids with their heads on straight. What have been your impressions of Kaleb? Yeah.
And that's what it is. He has his head on straight. He's a good kid, man. Humble kid. Checks all the boxes. Real low maintenance, man. He's a leader. I just can't speak on him. I wish I had, any coaches always say, you wish I had 100 guys like him. He's one of those. A hard worker, never have to look for him, never complaining. Just a real good teammate. Never really, even with the situation in it, he always wanted his teammates a part of it. He's just a great kid overall. And that's what staying home, and he kind of felt that, and he can go anywhere and be a star, but he felt that he just wanted to stay home and do it.
Couple more minutes with Korey Lindsey, the head coach over at Liberty Magnet. Kaleb Jackson, his star running back, committed to LSU earlier today on Tuesday. So you also got to go through the process, I guess, getting to know Brian Kelly and Frank Wilson a little bit. What was your impression of how the LSU staff recruited Kaleb?
Very honorable men, first and foremost. Very honorable guys, but they're really persistent and detailed, and they made him feel a priority. With him being a home state kid in home, Brian Kelly's coming to the state, Frank Wilson being such a prominent guy in the recruiting and in the Louisiana region. Coach Frank Wilson is the epitome, man. He's a great guy. His recruiting efforts I believe, is what kind of pushed the edge of LSU.
Did you know Frank, by the way, before you became the Liberty head coach?
Well, I knew of him. Him and my dad, Coach Keith Woods, from mentorship, are great friends. But me was coaching collegiately in the Midwest. We never crossed paths. And as I got to the region, and we put a face with it, and now we meet, and that's my guy, man. Yeah. I talked to him for mentorship and just the whole nine in the coaching profession. I really got the utmost respect for Coach Frank Wilson.
He's one of a kind, man. There's no doubt. And then what about Brian Kelly? Because we're all kind of getting to know Coach Kelly a little bit here as well.
I met Coach Kelly once when he first came down, but from our first impression, man, great guy. He was really respectful. I loved our conversation, genuineness. You could feel the genuine in him, when he came and, introduced himself and came get a feel of Liberty Magnet and was getting a feel of Baton Rouge. So that was our only encounter, but it was definitely positive, and I feel he's definitely going to be the guy for LSU to change it around up there.
Coach, how the Patriots going to be this year?
We're eager. We're eager for the opportunity. We're stepping up to 5A, but we really want to go compete. So our mindset is going to compete. We have the guys to do it, and we're going to compete and just see where the chips may fall.
It's as a completely unrelated piece to the whole thing. It is really cool to see what's happened at Liberty from when Lee, for a long time, Coach, felt kind of like it was on its last leg. To see the new school built, the success that it's having as a magnet school over there, it's really awesome, man. So
yeah,
I mean, just for all of Baton Rouge, certainly, the area that feeds Liberty Magnet, and for you and your squad, good luck this year. Can't thank you for a couple of minutes here today, man. We'll be watching and pulling for you guys.
Thank you, man. I appreciate your time.
Well, Coach, one more thing. I'll be watching and pulling except for when you play Catholic High. I mean, as a Bear, bro, I'm hoping they run all over you, dog.
Hey, I got you, man. Hey, I understand, man. You got to roll with your alumni, man.
All right, Coach. It's a pleasure,
No
man. We'll
problem,
talk
man.
soon.
You take care, man. Thank you.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.